Hello! Today I'm going to colour in a picture in this new book by Kerby Rosanes. I only just got it recently and I haven't done anything in it yet, so I thought I'd pick something to do in here. And I figured since I'm trying a new book, I might as well try some new pens, and I grabbed these 3 boxes of Bruynzeel brush markers. They are limited edition ones or specialised ones, so we've got a Tokyo edition, New York and Venice. So I'm going with a pretty limited colour palette here, but I thought some of these colours would work in here because these are animals and I think I can make it work. In case you're wondering, these are the swatches for all of the sets. These may not be in order because I actually had them in a pencil case. They live in this pencil case here, in this pocket. But just for the purposes of this video, I still had the boxes with me, so I figured I might as well put them back in. I kind of guessed as to which pens went where just by going off the little pictures that they had on here. So this is a book about animals around the world that are in various levels of endangerment. Some are critically endangered and others are vulnerable. And I thought that I'm just going to have to do the koala, aren't I? Oh, the poor koalas. We lost so many of them in those terrible bushfires. And it always just makes my heart break to think of them. I've seen a few zoo programs where they rescued a whole bunch and they all had their little paws burnt, and it was just absolutely devastating. I mean, they are just such beautiful animals. They do smell a bit, but they're very cute, and I've seen them in the wild quite a few times. I've taken lots of photos of them. Here's a few of my photos that I took in 2019. Okay, so there's information on all of the animals in this book, which is really nice. So here's the koalas one. They are vulnerable at the moment, although they may well go into endangered because they're still trying to count the cost of how many lives were lost in the fires. Koalas live in the eucalyptus forests of southeastern and eastern Australia. The eucalyptus trees provide them with both habitat and food. They can eat 0.5 kilogram of eucalyptus leaves a day. The koala population plummeted in the early years of the 1900s due to hunting for their fur. However, they are currently under threat from severe habitat loss as much of the forest they live in has been destroyed by bushfires, land clearing and logging. So this book's kind of depressing, but at the same time, I think it's also really important to be aware of our beloved animals that are endangered and think of ways that we can help to keep them safe. And it's fitting that it would be the first picture I colour in here. Alright, let's get into it. I don't even know what I'm doing with these colours. I'm just going to make it up as I go along and see what I can get with this limited colour palette. So in this strange assortment of colours, there were 2 really dark greys and 1 really light grey. So I opted to use the light grey and build up the layers as I went, using the dark greys just to add a little bit of shadowing in some of the darker areas of the koalas. But koalas are a silvery grey colour, so this light grey was much better. As you can see, it's actually building pretty well. All things considered, these are water-based markers, and usually once you layer water-based markers on paper, they just start ripping it up. But they were actually pretty good, and I found that the lighter colours you could actually get quite a lot of layers out before it started to do that. I'm just colouring in that tree trunk in the background because I was finding it difficult to discern between the koala and the tree trunk. Then I went in with that darker one again just to get some of the shadowing going into the female adult koala, and then going in with that lighter grey again. Once the ink dried, the grey was really light, so I had to go back a few times to pick it up, and I also went over the koalas at the end once I coloured in the rest of the picture because it was hard to know exactly how dark to make them. But I have to say, overall, these Bruynzeel brush marker pens are really nice. In fact, some of the best I've ever used, so I'd like to get more of them if I can find them around, and I recommend them if you're looking for some nice brush markers. Because I got these in a sale, I have no idea if they're still even available, so I'll look around, and if I find any, I'll put them in the description below so you can buy yourself a set if you want them. Going on to the background, I really did colour this very simply. I didn't do a lot of shading although, I mean, I was trying to use as many of the pens as I could, but in the end it was just a lot more basic than I would normally do if I was using, say, coloured pencils, which would take far longer than these pens did. Sometimes I just like to colour in pen and just do a really simple design so that I'm not spending forever on one piece of colouring. You can keep your colouring simple and it still looks just as effective. And also in this picture, there wasn't a lot of difference in the colours because it's basically the koalas, the tree trunks, and then the leaves. Now, I spent a little bit of time trying to decide which actual greens to use. There were two dark greens and then this yellowish green, which I'm using here. So I ended up going for one of the brighter greens in the middle and then covering everything with that yellowy olivey green. I didn't initially like it, but then after a while, once all of the leaves get coloured, I actually think it looks quite good, so I was quite happy with that. Phew! And, I mean, eucalyptus leaves come in quite a few different colours. You can get your greens and then more of bronzes and golds and things like that, even a bit of red. But I just decided I was going to do them all the same colour, and I just used my imagination rather than going off of specific reference, because that's just boring. I just like to colour and not have to think about it sometimes. And in a while you'll see that I also coloured in the sky with a very light blue, just to have everything coloured in this picture. I decided to call it quits here because it is starting to leak through. You can see it a little bit here, and coming here the paper is feeling a bit weak, so I thought I'd leave it, and then maybe once this is fully dry I can colour on this side. But this was a fun one to do, and I really enjoyed using these pens. I hope I can find more in the future. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click that subscribe button, and I will see you all again really soon in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Swatch you later. Bye!